to recap, we have our intro, start game broadcast happening in the beginning, and we have our sprites able to eat the flowers and the swirl and the golden ball. Notice when I hit the swirl, it goes up by 2. And when I touch the golden ball, it will go up. See here, it's going to go up by 2 to 6. And then when I touch the golden ball, it's going to go up to 9. Right? See that? So it goes up by 3. Okay. So what are we missing here? Well, what we're missing is the fact that these little balls should be growing bigger as their score goes up. Right? And so how is that going to happen? Yeah, how is that going to happen? Let's see. We're over here on the player. Somehow the size of the player needs to be connected with his score, right? So what we can do is we could say forever in here. Maybe we can come over here and we could say, let's see. We could say forever looks set size to, okay, so what we can do here is we can make a size variable, right? So here we have a size variable that's going to be for player 1, and maybe I could say here size 2 for player 2, right? And in the beginning, you could see here that we set the player 1 and player 2 to a size of 5%, right? And what we can do is we can add the score to the percentage that the player 1 is set to. Okay, and so I think 5% is still too big actually to start out as. So I'm going to change that to size 3, and I'm going to do that over here on the green flag, and then we are going to set our size 1 variable to 3, and after we set it to size 3, we're going to use the size variable by dragging it out right here in the percent, right? So what does that mean? That means when we start the game and we hit the green flag, the player 1 is going to be set to a size of 3%. Okay, and we could say here when I receive start game forever, right? Because the player's size variable is going to be increasing. The score variable is going to be increasing as they play. We could say set size to an equation, which is size plus score, and we could put that into the percentage, right? So what does that mean? That means when the player 1 eats a flower, his size is not going to be set to 3 anymore. It's going to be set to 3 plus 1, so it's going to be set to 4%. And when the player eats another flower, his size is going to be set to 5%. And when he eats a swirl ball, his size is going to be set to 7%. And so on, right? So now our size is connected to our player's score. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. All right, so that's a good size, starting size for our player 1. Now I'm going to eat the flower. I'm grow a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. I'm growing bigger. Do you see how bigger I'm growing? Yeah, this is going great, right? Now, I think the growth is a little bit too fast. So let me come back over here. And instead of setting it to size plus player score, let's set it to size plus player score divided by some number, divided by 2. Okay, and see how that goes. Now, that's a smaller number, right? That the size is going to increase by. Right. So if the player score is 2, then that means the size is going to increase by 1. And if the player score is 15, that means the size is going to increase by 7. Right. So now we're taking player score and dividing it by 2. So let's try that again. And if he's still growing too fast, we could divide by a bigger number. Right? But let's see here. Okay. Yeah, I like this growth. I like it. Ooh, let's see how big he grows. Yeah, that looks good, right? So he's not growing too fast, but he is growing visibly where you can actually see him getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so we have it set for player 1, and now you want to do the same thing here for player 2. But of course, remember, we want to use the size 2 variable, and we want to use the player 2 score variable for player 2.